सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देव श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे हरे कृष्ण. So 18th chapter, like last time we did like a quick overview of chapter 18. I don't want to again go through the overview because I want to focus on a specific section today. But just one point which we discussed last time or 2 weeks back is I want to ask, like, what are the 3 levels of happiness? Okay, and how would you identify those?
The picture that I posted.
Okay. Okay. Like, can you verbalize it?
Feels like poison, but later on it's nectar, it's more of goodness.
Okay, so initially it feels like poison, but on the long run it is a nectar. And that is, and it actually awakens our spiritual life, awakens one to self-realization. That kind of happiness is more of it. And passion is what?
Reverse.
Reverse. Right? So initial nectar. So, if you want to draw a chart, anyone is electrical engineer here? Diodes, PN diode. So if you actually draw a chart, for goodness, it is just like initially like a small box is P, but N is a long, right? And then for passion, N, let's say other, no, that's correct. Yeah. So passion, N is a small box, but P is a long box, right? So passion, initially nectar, but it's very small, but long run, it is poison. And what is ignorance? P all the way, right? So it is that out of laziness, out of illusion, all those things. So it's good to think about this thing because we are all aspiring for happiness. But what kind of happiness do we really want? Do you want something that's initially nectar, just momentarily, and then long term is just going to be suffering? Or do we want a happiness which is, initially there will be some austerity, but long run you feel like so happy. So we come to a level of mode of goodness, and then we can come to the stage one day where it is Kevala, Ananda, Kanya. Then what is it? Above the 3 is Sattva, Shuddha Sattva. Sattva Guna is goodness, right? Above that is Shuddha Sattva. And what is that? It is only N. Right? Ignorance was only P. And all the way, transcend the spiritual happiness is only N. Only N. Kevala Ananda. Like right now in our chanting, we feel like it's austerity. Waking up in the morning is like, oh, one day can I get an exception? Yesterday I slept late. All these excuses. Some austerity is there. But as we progress in our spiritual life, we look forward to it. We'll be like, okay, alarm rang, now is the time, let's get up, jump in the shower, and then go chant our rounds, Mangla Aarti. We look forward to it. Then it's just nectar. But until we come to that stage, we have to be very strong, very determined that yes, we want to come to a state of Naishtiki Bhakti. Naishtiki. Okay, so happiness. That's one thing. And then let's come to the section right into confidential, most confidential, more confident, and most confidential. And what is Krishna explaining these three terms in relationship with? What is confidential? Yes. Okay. So this is the concept that how can we understand the Lord? So Bhagavatam makes a point what? Vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yad jnanam avyayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shatyate. So Bhagwan iti shatyate. How do you define Bhagwan? In the three aspects. Vadanti tat tattvavidas. Those who are knows of tattva. What do you say? Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. And the best example is sun. We discussed it last time. Right? So someone may just see the sunshine coming and analyze the sun particles. Yes, sunshine. That's it. That is Brahman realization. Not even know that there is something beyond. Right? Maybe a small child, he just, when growing up, he says, oh, sunshine is coming to the room. That's it. But where does sunshine come from? No knowledge. Right? So that compared to Brahman. Beyond that, next level is where beyond Brahman realization, one actually realizes the Paramatma in the heart. Right? So the description of Paramatma is actually given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? It is basically said to be from here to here, like the size of Paramatma. You say like from ring finger to thumb. Or some Prabhupada says something 8 inches, but it depends on the person. Right? The person, but Paramatma in the heart. So realization of the form of the Lord in the heart, Paramatma, that is the second level. And that is compared to knowing that the sunshine comes from the sun disk. Right? There is the sun disk, and from that sunshine comes. That is Paramatma. Right? And the third aspect is realization that in the sun planet, there is a personality by name Vivashwan. Right? He's the sun god, or particularly for this time. And he's the one who is managing the affairs in the sun planet. Nothing is happening without a person behind controlling him. So even the sun, there's actually a personality, a sun god, Vivashwan, who is managing the affairs of the sun. So someone can realize the sun god, that is the highest understanding. Because by realizing sun god, he can naturally realize sun this and the sunshine. So the highest level of realization is realization that ultimately God is the supreme person. He's a person. Right? A person not like us. We are conditioned to the modes of material nature. We have all these defects. You grow old, hair starts falling, teeth start falling, all those problems. Krishna. Like Prabhupada said, you'll never see a photo of Krishna with a white beard or even a beard. Right? Always 16 years old. Like even when the war of Mahabharata was happening, Krishna was at least 100 years. At least 100 years. But still, he's always Nava Yovanam, eternally youthful. Krishna doesn't grow beyond 16 years. That is eternal. Right? So his body is unlike ours, his body is completely spiritual. Satchit Anand. There is no difference between Krishna's body and Krishna's soul. The entire form of Krishna is completely spiritual. So that's Krishna, just to show his beautiful form. He comes again and again, yada yada hi dharmasya, to show that this is my original form. Right? And anyone who connects to the original form, that spiritualist is the highest because he's connecting to Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of God. Okay? Is this point okay? Like actually, even if you see different spiritual groups, there's so much confusion even on this point. Like one kind of school is they just say that Brahman is the highest. Even the form that Krishna takes when he appears as incarnation is actually just from the Brahman taking a material form. They're known as Mayavadis basically, because they say Krishna's form is also Maya. But that's not the right understanding. right understanding is Krishna is originally there in the spiritual world in a particular form, which our acharyas have nicely described. How does Krishna look? Bara, Piram, Natavara, right? So basically, it's his bluish complexion, like a dark rain cloud, you know, and he has a peacock feather. Right? He's playing a flute, right? And then he has a garland, fresh flower garland, right? And he has threefold bending form. So all these descriptions are given by those personalities who have come to a stage where they have actually seen Krishna, right? And then they have revealed it to us. So we can meditate on that form of the Lord. So that is the actual, the original form of the Lord. Right? So this is confidential, more confidential, and more strong. Realization of Brahman is confidential. Realization of Paramatma is more. And realization of Bhagwan is most confidential. Right? Okay, so let's just read few verses and then we'll do a story. Okay, so let's go. Any questions up to this point? Everyone's okay at this one? 18th chapter, we will start off with text number, let's see, maybe 50, let's do 49, 50, I think. Start with text 49, so page number 691. So, just so that we keep up with the time, we'll just go with the English translations. Okay. So, so first, Krishna is talking about what? Confidential. So now, in the next few verses, we'll see Krishna talking about how one can come to Brahman realization. Right? So this is basically 49. So, okay, go ahead. Someone can read the translation. 49.
One who is self-controlled and unattached and who disregards all material enjoyments can obtain by practice of renunciation the highest perfect stage of freedom from reaction.
So here, if you see, here it says Siddhim Paramam. Because he's talking of Brahman, he's saying realizing that stage is freedom from all reaction. Because even coming to a Brahman means you're free from all the three modes of material nature. Right? So freedom from reaction. And then who can attain that state? Asakta buddhi, who is self-control, unattached, who disregards all material enjoyments. He's just given up everything. Right? In his practice renunciation, he can come to that stage. Next 50.
Gosanak Kunti, learn from me how one who has achieved this perfection can attain to the supreme perfection stage Brahman, the stage of highest knowledge by acting in the way I shall now summarize.
So 51 to 53 is the process by which one can attain Brahman realization. Right? Okay. So let's go ahead, 51 to 53. Maybe I can just break it up instead of reading the whole thing. So you can just follow the text. But first point, what does it say? Being purified by sattvic intelligence. Right? So first thing, being purified by intelligence. Second, controlling the mind with determination. Right? Third one, giving up all sense objects. Fourth one, being freed from attachment and repulsion, raga, dvesha. Then living in a secluded place, eating very little, lagva asi. Right? So no big Sunday feast. Only little bit prasadam you have to take just to survive. Right? Then controlling one's speech, body, mind. Absorption in meditation on the Lord. Dhyana yoga paronutya. Taking shelter of vairagya, detachment. Then freed from ahankara, false ego, balam, false strength, darpam, false pride, kamam, lust, anger, krodha, parigraham, all material pollution. Freedom from nirmamaha, false proprietorship, shantaha, peaceful, and then such a person, Brahma Bhuvaya Kalpate, can attain Brahman realization. So one has to do all these items, 12 items to achieve Brahman. Possible?
Not even one problem. Now Krishna has to save us.
It's true, very nice. Actually, not even one. You know, just on our own strength, if you have to practice each one of them, it's very difficult. Very difficult. But this is how, if you do this, you can attain Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. One can attain Brahman state. Now, from Brahman state, right? If someone is at the Brahman state, how can he come to Bhakti? It's promotion, right? Brahman, Paramatma. So how can someone come from Brahman to Bhagavan?
By cultivating all these devotion.
That by cultivating all this, we'll come to Brahman. But beyond that, how will you come to Bhagavan?
Emotions.
Okay, so next verse is a very, very famous verse. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Na Sochati Na Kamshati Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. So Bhakti, right? Bhakti is the point. But what are the qualities of a Brahman, Brahma Bhuta, one who's on the Brahman stage? Na Sochati Na Kamshati. What does that mean? No hankering, no lamentation. So we lament for what?
What is lost, what we cannot achieve,
What we
what we
cannot achieve.
cannot get.
Yeah, okay. And we hanker for what?
What we don't have.
Okay. So one way to actually divide it is we hanker for things which have happened in the past. Oh, so and so happened for me. Oh, sorry. We lament for those things in the past. We hanker for those things in the future. Right? So Krishna is saying that with these qualities, we can actually come to a stage of devotional service. So practically for us, we are not going through a route of first realizing Brahman, then going to Paramatma, then going to Bhagwan. No, that's not our route. But one who is aspiring to attain Bhagwan should have the qualities of the other. So we should have those qualities. What does it mean? Not hankering, not lamenting, not hankering. Not in the past, not in the future. That means living in the present. So a bhakti yogi is one who at every moment is thinking, right now how I can absorb my mind in Krishna. Right now how I can absorb. Right now how I can. So that's the meditation of the yogi. He lives in the present. He doesn't, in the past, whatever happens, happens. Future, whatever happens, Krishna is. He'll take care of it. Right now, just chant Hare Krishna. Right now, just be in the present, right? And then, Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu. He sees everyone with an equal vision. And that person can take up bhakti and come to the stage of Bhagavan realization. So that is all about Brahman. Next verse is also very nice, very important. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvatah tato mam tatato gyata vishate tat anantaram. So we are talking from Brahman to Bhagavan realization. So please read that also.
One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God.
Right, so entering into the kingdom of God, Krishna says, Vishate, you will come into me, you will come in me. That means enter in the kingdom of God. That is what realization? Bhagavan realization. And when can one attain that? Bhaktya. Only by devotional service can one actually attain Bhagavan realization. Right? Bhaktya mam abhijanati. You can know Krishna as a supreme person only through devotional service. Right? And when one is in full consciousness, by such bhakti, then he can enter to Krishna. Right? Okay, so next few verses are also very nice, but let's take a pause and I want to tell a story. The story that was nice to relate. Yes.
The first thing is when the qualities or to attain the
Teja Brahman.
Brahman.
Yeah.
All of these, like you said, not even one we can do that, right? So all of these are anyway leading to, I don't think it is leading to anyone who is engaged in household activities, right? Is it like who samsaric, what I wanted to say. So if you need to do all of this, you need to go away, right?
Yes.
And
So one of the qualities what we read is Vivikta Sevi, living in a secluded place.
Because then only you can maybe free of desires, laments, I think so.
Okay,
that's
so one point in relationship to this context is Like Krishna is saying, okay, if you want to come to Brahman realization, following this process, don't live in a city, don't live with a family, go to the forest. Right? But like a sannyasi, yes, sannyasi, exactly. But can a devotee develop these qualities of giving up sense objects, being free from attachment, controlling mind, body, and speech? Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Because if you're connecting to Bhagavan, you already have the qualities of Krishna.
Right. Same for lamentation and desires as well. I mean,
Right. As you come to Krishna consciousness, as you're coming closer to Krishna, you automatically develop these qualities.
and
Right.
you have no reaction to if, like you're pretty indisposed of what is happening around you. You're only
Yes.
concentrating on the present and thinking about what's
Krishna.
surrendering to Krishna.
Yes. So all those qualities which are there described here, through bhakti you can attain all of these. But you don't have to take this route of leaving everything, go to the forest. But just by cultivating the limbs of bhakti, one develops these qualities. Okay. Okay. Everyone okay up to this point? Okay. So let's talk about one story that frequently quoted to actually establish how Brahman realization is just realization of one aspect of the law. It's not complete realization. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are two main things. We'll focus on one. And these are about personalities who are already at the Brahman realized stage and how they actually get attracted to Krishna. So anyone can think of the main stories in Bhagavatam of personalities already in Brahman realized, but then they came to God. Sukadeva Goswami, right? Sukadeva Goswami he himself says in the first canto, 7th chapter, text number 9, he actually makes a point that I myself was connected to the Brahman realized. But then when I heard the shlokas from the Srimad Bhagavatam, when his father Vyasdev sent his own disciples, like go in the forest, he's somewhere there, just chant these two shlokas. Right? Bhara Piram Natavara is one, and Aho Bakiyam Sthana Kuta is the second one. Just chant these verses. And as far as Sukadeva Goswami, though he was at that level of Brahman realization, when he heard this, immediately he felt attracted. He said, I am feeling happiness and Brahman realized, but that is some kind of happiness which is beyond what I'm experiencing. And Sukadeva Goswami, what did he do? He asked that, where did you hear this? He said, it's your father. Go and ask him. So he goes back to Vyasdeva Ashram and he hears the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. So he was a Brahman realized, but just by hearing the qualities of that personality, Bhagavan, he actually could elevate himself from Brahman to Bhagavan realization. Second example. 4 Kumaras. Right? So we'll talk about story of 4 Kumaras. So in the process of creation, right, after Brahma is created, right? So it is described in Bhagavatam. After Brahma is created, what does he do? First of all, there's the aspect of creation of ignorance. There are 5 aspects of ignorance that are created. But after that, he actually meditates on the Lord and says, I am in charge of creation. Right? So he meditates on the Lord, and just by that meditation, 4 sons are born. Right? So the first sons of Brahma are who? The 4 Kumaras. Sanaka, Sanatan, Sanananda, Sanat Kumar. 4 Kumaras. Right? They are 4 sons. So first sons of Brahma. And Brahma created them with an intention that, okay, now you create progeny. You get married, you have children, But what did the 4 Kumaras do? They left everything and joined the ISKCON Brahmacharya Ashram. I mean, they actually tell the side. They said, Brahmaji, we don't want to get involved with, progeny. For their father. You have this expectation, but we are not. And they actually, though they are the oldest one way, after Brahma, first sons of Brahma, they actually maintain themselves as small boys because as small boys there will be no desire of sex or anything. Right? So they just maintain themselves just like small boys. So even though they are the oldest, they just appear just like young boys. Right? So they actually are said to be Brahman realized. They were attached to the realization of Brahman. Now, once it so happened that these four Kumaras had described that their qualities, they are Amala Atmana. Right? Amala means without any mala. Right? That means no material desires. They're completely pure. Right? And then what they decided once, they were actually decided to go to Vaikuntha Nilayam Yayuhu. Yayuhu means they decided to enter into Vaikuntha. Right? So these four Kumaras, they actually are mystic yogis, with the power of mystic yoga, like how with Dhyana yoga you have the Ashtanga yoga. With that, one actually gets some perfection, some siddhis, right? Like what siddhis? Anyone knows? Anima, Lagima, Prapti. Anima means like if the door is closed, you can go through the keyhole and enter on the other side. Like, you see all this, like sometimes in magic shows, like PC Sarkar or, all this. They have subsidiaries. Like Prabhupada actually, he tells the story. And once he was seeing some circus in Calcutta, and they actually locked the person like full with chain and everything. And then he was inside. And all of a sudden, like he just came outside. And that is a siddhi. The anima, then lagima, you can become so light, you can start floating. Right? So you see sometimes, what's that? Karmi, on my Karmi background, when David Blaine, I don't know if anyone knows. He's a very famous musician. Anyway, during my undergrad, like we used to watch his shows, David Blaine. But he used to he had this siddhi of walking on water. And if you see it, magic is like impossible. And he said, like, even while growing up, when the phone used to ring, he used to always say, whose phone it is? He had that siddhi. And they said the people who have that siddhi, they normally are in the higher planets. But when they fall back to the earth, the traces of the siddhi remain in them. So even as a child, those siddhis are there. So, David Blaine was one example. But they have the siddhis. But with that same siddhis, those who are really qualified, achieve perfection in Mastic Yoga, they can travel not only within material universe, but they can go to the spiritual world. So his four Kumaras could actually go to Vaikuntha. Right? What is the meaning of Vaikuntha? No Kuntha, no anxiety. Right? So they went to Vaikuntha, like 7 gates to enter. Right? So because they're like small boys, like children. So they went first door, second door, no one stopped. Third gate, fourth gate, fifth gate, sixth gate, no problem. They're small boys. The Prabhupada and the purpose, he says that. If a small boy enters, very sweet, small boy, no one will stop him. Just like, please come. What is there? No threat from him. He's just like innocent small boy. No one will stop. So he came to the sixth door. Right? So when they came, they crossed the sixth gate and they came to seventh gate. And then they saw two personalities, right? Jaya and Vijay. And to describe these Jaya and Vijay, they had like four-handed form, just like Vishnu. They look just like Vishnu. Four-handed with the conch, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, all those four symbols. And they look equal in age, because in Vaikuntha no one gets old. So they look like same in age. They're standing there so brilliant, so like effulgent. And then four Kumaras, they came, and immediately these two personalities just stopped them. And then the four Kumaras, they actually, this Jay and Vijay were thinking like they are just, actually they were just like small boys, just naked. They didn't even wear it. Right? They came there, and Jay and Vijay stopped them. And immediately the four Kumaras were actually thinking, okay, before I go into the details, like Brahma, actually the whole thing in Bhagavatam, Brahmaji is telling this story to the demigods. Right? And he goes a little bit into the background, and he says how Diti, so there's Aditi and Diti. Diti is the mother of the demons. Right? And then Aditi is the mother of the demigods. Right? And they both are co-wives of Kashyap Muni. Right? So Diti once she had the desire that, oh, all my other sisters have children, even I want to have. So she came to Kashyap Muni and said like, but she came at a very wrong time. She came at the evening time, and then Kashyap Muni said, no, no, not right time. Very inauspicious time. But she just said, no, no, I want it right now. And then they had union. The two children were in the womb. Then Kashyap Muni,
Little better.
because you actually,
Morning
these two,
morning.
and there's going to create havoc all over the world.
Actually,
And then she lamented. Oh, I have made a big mistake, and she was lamenting. And then Kashyap Muni said, because you are repentant, you have that mood of repentance. Then he said, then because you have repented, these two will be actually killed by Vishnu. So that was a blessing. So when these two children were to be born, said that Diti, she held the pregnancy for 100 years. She didn't want the babies to come out. Why? One is she already knew if they come out, they're going to create havoc everywhere, they're going to harass the demigods. And then the second, she knew that they would be killed by Vishnu. So both, like she said, both these points she wanted to avoid. But because she was holding these two personalities in her womb, then it created darkness everywhere. And all the demigods were like, the whole world appears dark. And they go to Vishnu and ask, or they go to Brahmaji and ask, Brahmaji, what's happened? And Brahmaji says, I'll tell you this story. And then, how I started. He tells about the four Kumaras and how once the four Kumaras went to Jay and Vijay. But Brahmaji, very interestingly, when he comes to this point of talking of Vaikuntha, he gives a beautiful description of Vaikuntha. So nice. So I like this section. So can I spend some time here? Okay, how would you describe Vaikuntha? We are all aspiring to go back home, back to God. If you don't know how back to God it is, then how will we aspire to go to that place? What can you say about Vaikuntha?
Free of worries.
Okay, no kunta, no anxiety. That's there. Peaceful. Okay.
Serving Krishna always.
Actually, the point of peaceful is already at Brahman realization, you already have peace. Now we are talking about beyond Vaikuntha. So even a Brahman realization is already na sochati na kamshati. That's already there. What's it?
Serving
Always, yeah, always serving Krishna.
Everybody's chanting Krishna's name.
Everyone's chanting Krishna's glories. So Brahmaji starts off by saying, oh, in the Vaikuntha, there are auspicious forests. He starts off by saying this, auspicious forests in Vaikuntha. And in those forests, there are trees. And what kind of trees? Desire trees. Like here, if you go to a tree, a mango tree, the only thing you'll get is mangoes. If.
But what they do with the desire trigger when they don't have the desires at all there, then why they need desire?
No, but see, they don't have material desires, but they have spiritual desires to serve Krishna. So if there's like, oh, Krishna wants to eat a samosa, and they may go to the desire tree and say, can you give a samosa? Krishna is hungry.
Not for sense.
Not for sense, certainly not for sense. But the beauty of the spiritual world is you have everything, but people don't want anything for their own self gratification. Right? So he starts off by saying there's auspicious forest, and then every tree there is a desire tree, full of fruits and flowers. And everything is spiritual and personal. There is no thing in the spiritual world. Everything is a person. Every tree is a person. Every flower is a person. Every samosa is a person. And so on. So there is no thing as such, right? And then he talks of in the spiritual world. So first is forest with desire trees. Second, he says, in the spiritual world, there are vimanas. What is vimana? Airplanes. Airplanes in the spiritual world. Not like Spirit Airlines. It's always There's vimana, and he says, where there are personalities with their wives, they are traveling. Every person there has his own private airplane. Imagine, right? Private airplane. Okay. Hare Krishna. And then what are they doing in the private airplane? They are Gayanti. They're always singing. So even though they have these airplanes, which is like very opulent, they are always singing the glories of the Lord, right? And they're so absorbed in singing the glories of the Lord that they actually say that from these forests that we described, right? I mean, forests, and there are also lakes, and there are some flowers known as Madhavi flowers in the lakes. And the Madhavi flowers give such wonderful, like so sweet fragrance. And because these personalities are so absorbed in glorifying Krishna that when the fragrance comes, they say, like, don't disturb us. We just want to be so absorbed, we just want to glorify Krishna. And Brahma makes this point to show how everyone in the spiritual world, they're only absorbed in glorifying Krishna. So there is desire trees, there is this beautiful fragrance from Madhavi flowers, but all they are interested, how can I just be absorbed in glorifying Krishna? Right? So second point is Vimanas. Right? Third point, that's very sweet here. He talks of different birds. Right? So many different birds. And Prabhupada mentioned that, like he gives a list of birds. Many of those birds, they don't have an English equivalent also. They're very special birds in the spiritual world. They don't have an English name also. So Prabhupada, in word to word, he'll write the bird, name of the bird, and English word, or he'll put the same thing because there's no English equivalent. But you can imagine like parrots and peacocks and the best birds. And all these birds, they make so sweet sound. So sweet sound, and they are also all singing. But there's one thing very special there. Like Brahma actually used the word kolahala. Kolahala means there's, huh?
Yes.
Like more like tumult, like all the birds are singing together.
Right.
Yeah, maybe like all like some. But when the bees, when the bees, they flap the wing, you know, all the birds become quiet. And they say, oh, maybe the bees are glorifying Krishna. Let's hear what is the glorification of the bees. Like compared to all these birds, what is the sound of a bee? Nothing, right? But still, and this point is actually mentioned that in the spiritual world, everyone appreciates everyone else's service. Even the bees, like little bit, just like little flutter, and they're thinking, "Oh, he's talking about Krishna. Let's stop our sound and just hear the bees." Mhm. And Prabhupada says, there is no envy in the spiritual world. Everyone appreciates everyone's service. Even a small, insignificant jiva, it actually, it's talking about Krishna. Everyone else will quiet. Okay, temporarily, let's stop. Let's hear what the bee has. Right? So Prabhupada makes the point that that there is no envy in the spiritual world, and everyone appreciates everyone else's service. Right. So previous point, what was it? All the Vimana and all these people. Like, what was the main theme there of the spiritual world? Singing. But the main thing about the fragrance coming, that they give their main priority is what? Service to Krishna, not considering their own gratification. Right. So, all these points are like, we have to cultivate that mood because we are aspiring to go to a place. Can we give predominance to the service of the Lord, not so much caring of like how we feel or what is our emotion. Our first priority, how can I do the best for Krishna, right? Second point is the birds, right? Practically, what does it mean? That everyone is attentive to everyone's service. Everyone appreciates everyone else's service. Even a new person comes to the temple and he comes and he just sweeps the floor. And you're like, wow, so nice. So nice. He's doing so much service. There may be devotees who are serving for 20, 30 years. But even they appreciate, oh, he's coming and serving Krishna. One little service, let's just appreciate it. So that's the good. And then he also gives one more example of the flowers. So again, so many flowers he mentions. And again, many of the flowers, no English equivalent. But there are lotus, there's rose, right? And all these flowers, their fragrance. Imagine here, don't talk of US flowers. They are like no fragrance at all. Except I think Mataji's garden, there's some fragrance. But in India, like in Vrindavan, if you go, Smell the flowers so good. And they are actually, you can smell it for a few days. So nice smell. Imagine the smell of the flowers in the spiritual world. So there's lotus, rose, such wonderful smell. But all these excellent flowers, they give priority to Tulsi. They say Tulsi, like, I mean, those who take care of Tulsi, have you like smell like the fragrance of Tulsi? It's very like, very, what do you say, like subtle, like not so strong like a rose, but so, like, so wonderful. You know? And all these flowers, though they have such wonderful fragrance, they say, oh, Tulsi is there. She has done so many austerities to please Krishna. They give predominance to Tulsi. So see the mood of spiritual. There's no question of envy. Oh, my smell is better than your fragrance. You know? And oh, Tulsi, she's such a wonderful devotee of Krishna. They give priority to Tulsi. You should be using Krishna service. You know? So whenever garlands are made for Krishna, it's always good to have Tulsi because Krishna loves Tulsi so much. She's done so many austerities to please Krishna. You know? And that's why it's so important to wear Tulsi. You know? Is everyone here wearing Tulsi? If not, I would request, please wear Tulsi. Even if you don't want to wear, like, around your neck, at least inside you should always have Tulsi. She's such an, a devotee of Krishna. She's the one who actually gives us bhakti to Krishna. You know? So always, whenever, 24 hours, you should always have Tulsi around.
But sometimes Prabhu eat onion, garlics, and all that, so then that should be offended.
Actually, in the Shastras, it says, even if a sinful person wears Tulsi, even if a sinful person wears Tulsi, that's what the shloka says. That means what? Even if you are doing sinful activities, still wear Tulsi. And the verse actually says, even if a sinful person wears Tulsi, at the time of death, if he is wearing the Tulsi necklace, Yamraj will not come. He'll say, even though he has done so many sinful activities, because he is wearing Tulsi, I have no right. So everyone should wear Tulsi. Wear Tulsi. I mean, like, those are initiative, we do 3 rounds, but you could do even 1 round or 2 rounds. But please wear Tulsi, it will protect you. Like, one thing is you get protection from anything, difficult situation, Tulsi Devi is with you. She's so dear devotee of Krishna. She'll always like protect us, and not only that, she'll actually further our devotion to Lord Shri Krishna. So we have Tulsi beads at our temple also, but please, everyone should wear Tulsi. Right? So Tulsi is so dear to Krishna. So that was the next point about these airplanes. Right? About these flowers, right? Flowers we talked about. And then further he actually makes a point that there are airplanes, and the airplanes are made of like emerald and gold, right? And the men, they're actually so absorbed. So you have, imagine, airplanes and they have all their concerts, right? And the men are totally absorbed in glorifying Krishna. And so much so that even though the damsels are, I mean, their concerts are right there, they have no attraction to them. To make the point that as such, in this material world, there's a whole feeling of sex and everything. In spiritual world, everyone is so absorbed in glorifying Krishna that there's no question of, the sex and everything. So he makes that point. And then he makes the ladies there, everyone there is as beautiful as Lakshmi. And what are the ladies doing?
Serving Krishna.
Okay. How are they serving Krishna? Okay. So interesting. Brahmaji makes a point. The ladies, they're as beautiful as Lakshmi. And what are they doing? They are sweeping the marble walls in the spiritual world. Why? Is there dust there? Is it a very dusty place? No. There is no dust. But still they are doing this menial service because they know when they do menial service, it attracts the mercy of the Lord. So even there, they are actually acting in such a way, how can we draw the attraction of the Lord? How can we draw the mercy of the Lord? So even they spend their time like cleaning the walls, which are already clean, but they do this menial service just so that they can get the grace of the Lord. Right? So the ladies are engaged in that way. And then, like practically, what does it mean for us? Menial service attracts the mercy of the Lord. So when you come to a temple, just do any menial service, whether sweeping the floor or cleaning the tables, like any menial service. Like there's this whole story in Chaitanya Charitamrita about the king, how he wanted to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But finally, when the king, in front of Rath Yatra cart, he took the broom. That's like the Odia tradition, right? He took the broom and he started sweeping the street. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw, and see the king of Puri is sweeping the street. See how humble he is. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, okay, I will give you my mercy. So by doing humble menial service, we attract the mercy of the Lord. Right? Okay, that's the ladies. And the last point here, he says, is Lakshmi ji. What is she doing? She's always worshipping the Lord. She's massaging the feet of the Lord and she's offering tulsi leaves to the Lord. Right? So if someone says, okay, you're doing so much chanting and bhakti, what is your goal? I want to go home back to Godhead. And how does Godhead, what does it look like? Now you know. Now you can describe Godhead. So what all points we said? Okay, Vimana. First we talked of forest with desire trees. Okay, Vimana. Okay, in Vimana, what was so special? Like, yeah, the men were there and they were so absorbed in singing that even if the fragrance came, they were not. Right? That was a Vimana. Third was birds. We talked about birds, right? So they have so beautiful sound. But as soon as the bee comes and they give attention. Oh no, she's doing a lot, right? And then the flowers. And the flowers gives importance to tulsi. They actually said in one place that the more you get spiritually advanced, the more you can actually appreciate that smell of tulsi. When tulsi actually finally get the manjari, it says you take the manjari and you should always offer it with 2 leaves. Like even when you cut, there should be tulsi manjari. With the 2 leaves, you should cut always below that, right? And offer that to the lotus feet. But as you progress, you'll appreciate that offering the smell of tulsi so much. Right? So tulsi, serving tulsi devi at home, very powerful. Wearing tulsi beads, very, very important. Right? So even at home, just make it a seva that take care of tulsi leaves, tulsi plant, and then take tulsi leaves, offer it to lotus feet of Krishna. If you just do that one activity, one seva, that itself is so amazing. So okay. And then we talked of, okay, so we talked of after that, flowers, birds, flowers, then woman. Yeah, sweeping the floor, and then Lakshmi ji. Yeah, so these are points. Okay.
So
Then,
quick question, bro.
yeah.
So one point you said like they're also having husband and wives in the spiritual
Yeah.
planet. So how is that possible? Because if it's
And-
all pure consciousness,
Yeah,
we don't have any
relationships are
desire,
there.
so-
Like, see how you see in Vrindavan.
Right.
You have Mother Yashoda, you have Nanda Maharaj. That's family, right? They are husband and wife.
So like soulmates from the matter world, they go there.
No, that is, see, these personalities are eternally there in the spiritual world, right? And then few of those, they fall into the material temporarily, and then you go back to your original position. So that relationship is eternally there. Like those husband and wives and those airplanes, they're eternally there. Just few of those, they say, why Krishna? Why is everyone singing glories of Krishna? Why not me? And after you think, Krishna says, okay, come to the material world. You want to be Brahma? Okay, go. Everyone will glorify you. And you can think that everyone is glorifying you. But you become wise, then you think, see, when you're growing up, you think that, oh, everyone is thinking of me. You're in a room, you have to like, okay, I should act properly because everyone is noticing me. Even in like in a temple, you're chanting around, oh, I should chant properly. Everyone is looking at me. We think that we are the center of the world, right? But as we progress, we realize that actually no one is thinking about us. It's just that we are thinking that everyone is thinking about us. So we have that mentality of that I-centered. I should be Krishna. And then Krishna says, okay, try to be. And when you're frustrated, then you can revive the connection and come back. But those relationships are eternally there. Okay.
There are different forms of souls as well, Prabhu, like flowers has a soul or something.
I mean,
They
they
are in the form of flowers.
Yeah. So there are some personalities. I mean, there's no difference between soul and body there. Right? So some personalities are in the form of flowers. Some personalities are in the form of birds. Some personalities are in the form of trees. But that's their eternal position. That's how they are serving Krishna. But there's no like change there that, okay, now the tree is old, now it dies. I mean, they're all eternally present. So birds are eternally singing. There's no concept of time. Okay. Now, who is qualified to enter into Vaikuntha? That's the next shloka, Brahmaji says.
Constantly situated, always thinking of, consciously thinking of Krishna and
yes.
doing devotion.
Okay. So Brahmaji, the way he says, first he makes a point. Who is not qualified to enter Vaikuntha? He says, those unfortunate people who do not discuss these narrations of the spiritual world, or they do not discuss Hari Katha, they just are engaged in mundane gossip, they cannot enter the spiritual world. So as long as we have the material attraction, tomorrow there's a game, UNC versus Duke, big game, As long as you have all those interests, then, you won't be able. But if our only interest is how can we hear Krishna Katha, how can we relish Krishna Katha, our entire life is just focused on glorifying Krishna, hearing about Krishna, then we become qualified to enter into Vaikuntha. And then he actually, next shloka, he says, very nice, that the human form of life is so important that Brahmaji is saying that even we, and he's talking to the demigods, he says, even we aspire to take birth as human beings. Why? Because just in human form of life, in that short period, they can just hear Harikatha, associate devotees, and they attain the highest perfection. But for us, we are here for so long time. And because there's so much opulence here, we don't get that motivation to take our spiritual life as seriously as on the earth planet. So we all aspire to get that human form of life. And there's another shloka in the 11th canto, Prabhupada quotes that in the purport. He says, human form of life is just like a perfect boat. Not like Titanic that sinks. It's like a perfect boat. And who's the captain of the boat? The Guru, the spiritual master is the captain. So you have a good boat in the form of human life. You have the captain as a spiritual master, and you have favorable winds. What is that? Those are the words of the Shastras. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, they are the favorable winds. They say having the perfect boat, having the perfect captain, having favorable winds, if you don't use the opportunity to cross across the material ocean, then you are just Atmaha. Atmaha means like you're killing. A killer of the soul is one way. But basically, you're wasting your entire life. What's the purpose of life if you have all the opportunities, but you're not using it to go home back to God? So that's Brahmasing. Anyway, so those are description of the spiritual world, and then the story continues. Any comments of this one?
Prabhuji, I have a question. So, like you said, desire tree is thing, right? So, I was just trying to relate. So, probably desire tree can give you anything which you want to serve,
Krishna,
used to serve the Godhead,
Yes.
Krishna. So, in the same manner, I believe if we want to relate to our lives, material lives. So, if we say we desire of a lot of things, and people run after certain things, they never get it. If you are running after something, you usually don't get it. So it's like that desire tree is giving you something because you are supposed to be like you have left all those material attachments, right? In our lives also, if we have that kind of faith and we practice that, we certainly get certain things. But if we keep thinking, oh, we need this, then that doesn't happen. Can we relate that kind of, can we like just to learn in our lives, because that word is beyond us right now. If we just want to learn and inculcate that.
Yeah. So practically in our life, we have so many material desires. And the more we run after material desire, more frustrated we become.
It's a loop.
Yes, a loop, yeah. But as we are getting purified of those material desires, then even if we get a particular object, then even though we don't have desire the object, by our karma or by, by our destiny, we're getting the object, then we'll use those objects in Krishna's service. So that way, yes, practically we can see that yes, by our entire life karma, we get so many things. We may be blessed with a nice house, blessed with so many things. But everything that's coming, if we don't have a desire to enjoy them separately, we say, okay, Krishna, you're giving me this, let me use it in your service. Then that is spiritual wealth.
That is like changing your thought process.
Changing
not
your
the life,
consciousness.
basically.
Yeah.
Whatever is coming to you, you just divert, like channelize it to serve the God.
How can I use that to serve Krishna?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is Vaikuntha thinking. So
That's
even here, you can have that Vaikuntha consciousness. Okay. So do we have time to continue story or we stop?
Yeah.
9:30.
9:30. Okay. So we continue next time. So we leave the Kumaras at the gate. Because very so wonderful, the whole narration. And so much like, practical lessons from the story. So
First will become in the proper mode and then
yeah,
that's when
not Damodar Leela.
not when Krishna is running away.
Yeah,
that's
I
when
mean,
he
you
becomes-
come next time, Mataji. No,
That's-
not Damodar Leela.
No, they become trees.
No, those are different. Those are
Maybe I'm
the,
confusing.
yeah. They're the first two. The DT in the first, she was actually holding Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu.
No, I was saying Jay and Vijay begin with two trees, right?
No.
Then maybe I'm confusing.
Yeah. That is sons of Kuvera actually.
Okay, yeah.
Nalkvar and Manigriva.
No, just-
Okay. So a little bit more, should I go in the story?
Should.
Okay, 5 minutes. Let's do
It's
that.
a yet to come.
It's a- Okay, so Jay and Vijay, they stopped the four Kumaras, right? And what was the four Kumaras' reaction? They became angry, but their main point, see, Jay and Vijay was thinking like, who are these personalities? Because in the Vaikuntha, everyone was like four hands, they look like Vishnu, and they think they are like just like small boys, naked. They don't belong here, Jay and Vijay were thinking, and hence they stopped, right? And so one way Jay and Vijay was thinking, they don't belong here. Now the four Kumaras are thinking that this Jay and Vijay, they are stopping us, and they think that how come they have developed this mentality of like seeing our body and making a difference. They have the thinking of duality, but they are actually in Vaikuntha, they are serving Lord Vishnu. They are in the highest position. How can they have this thinking of duality? And the four Kumaras thinking, maybe they are imposters. Because they are not thinking like how a Vaikuntha person should think. And then naturally they become angry. And then they also make the point that, where is the possibility of an enemy coming all the way to the sixth gate? So, like if you're stopping, then you may be thinking like, oh, maybe there's an enemy of Vishnu. But how is there a chance of an enemy coming there? Right? And then they say, and who could be envious of the Lord having coming to the sixth gate, right? And then you have like a discordant mentality. Therefore, you should be punished. Because you're seeing duality, though you're in the spiritual world, you should go into the world of duality. Right? And there they make the point. You enter the material world and you'll suffer three things. What is that? Desire, anger, and lust. So they cursed. Right? Prabhupada makes the point. The small boys, everyone allows like small boys, okay, you can go through this world, you can go. But if they are stopped, what do small boys do? They cry. But though they were in the form of small boys, they were actually the oldest, the highest mystic yogis. So they didn't cry, they actually cursed. So they cursed Jay and Vijay. You go to the material world, right? And then Jay and Vijay, when they realized that we have been cursed by Brahmanas, immediately they became afraid and they fell down at the feet of the Kumaras and they begged for forgiveness. And in Jay and Vijay, actually, they told the four Kumaras that, it is very apt that you have punished us because we had this wrong way of thinking. It's very correct you have punished us. But now, please, we are repentant. So please have compassion just seeing our repentance. And do what? That even though we are sent into the material world, we do not forget our Lord. And then when the four Kumaras heard that, like even they are accepting the curse, they are repentant, and they're saying, when we go in the material world, we always remember the Lord. Then they realize, oh, they are such exalted devotees actually. Otherwise, who would pray in such a way? If there was someone else, they would say like, no, no, we are right, we are gatekeepers, it's our duty, that's what we are supposed to do. But they immediately fell down, offered, begged forgiveness, and saying that even when we are going there, we accept what you have given us. But when we are there, let us not forget Krishna. Give us that blessing. And now the four Kumaras are thinking, oh, we made a mistake. We have come to Vaikuntha, but we are bringing the spirit of anger with us. So Jay and Vijay are feeling repentant. Four Kumaras are feeling repentant. So when both the parties are feeling that mood of humility, the mood of like, oh, we have made a mistake, the mood of repentance, both the parties are feeling. Then the Lord from inside, he knows everything. So he knew at the gate there is some, drama going on. And it's described so nicely in Bhagavatam. It said, because the Lord loves his devotees so much, he loves Jay and Vijay so much, that as soon as he heard Jay and Vijay is cursed, normally the Lord travels on Garuda. He'll sit on Garuda and then he'll come. Right? But when he heard they were cursed, he said, it'll take too much time to sit on Garuda. He just came running on his own feet all the way to the front gate. Because he said, like, I want to go myself. Bhagavatam said, very quickly, as soon as he heard, just left everything, ran and said, my devotees are getting cursed. I should be there. And that shows how much the Lord loves his devotees. Anything the devotees go through, the Lord is personally. And later on is described that he comes there and then Lakshmi ji comes and Garuda also comes. And then because the Lord did not travel on Garuda, he keeps one of his hand on Garuda saying, no, it's okay, you're there as my carrier. But now it was an urgent situation, so you're there. So he keeps one hand on Garuda and he's right there. And he said he just ran all the way just to come there to address the situation. And then when the Lord comes, what does he do? The first thing he actually does, he actually begs for forgiveness. He says, my servant, and Prabhupada makes a point, that the leader, he accepts the mistake of his servants as his own mistake. So Lord is accepting, they are my servants, my devotees, they made a mistake, hence it is my mistake. And they are begging, oh Kumaras, please forgive me. Imagine the Lord, how much he loves his devotees. He's coming there and he's begging forgiveness from the four Kumaras. He is the creator of Brahma, and his Brahma's sons are the four Kumaras. Everyone is coming from him. But he is begging forgiveness from the four Kumaras. That my devotees have made a mistake, but I am responsible. So you please forgive me. And then he actually glorifies the Brahmanas. Let me say that. Okay, so should I quickly go and then maybe we'll cover more details later, or should I stop? What do you say? Stop? Yeah. Okay. So up to this point we have come. So Lord has come there and he's begged forgiveness. He's taking responsibility for his servant's mistake and he's begging for forgiveness. And next time we see how the Lord actually talks to the four Kumaras and and how the four Kumaras, because even they are feeling. They are thinking the Lord has come. But is he angry with us because we cursed his own dear devotees? And then the Jay and Vijay are thinking, the Lord has come here, he's begging forgiveness on our part. So both sides of that mood of inner humility. But the point that our acharyas make is when both the parties, the four Kumaras and Jayam Vijay, develop that mood of humility, then Krishna was attracted. So Krishna is attracted to the mood of humility because in that mood of humility, bhakti can manifest. And hence Krishna gets attracted to that bhakti. So that's why our formula to attract the mercy of Lord is Rinad api sunichena, taror api sahishnuna, amanina manadena, kirtaniya sadahari. So what is it? We'll end with this last point. And one should develop that mood. Rinad api sunichena, more tolerant than a blade of grass. More tolerant than a blade of grass. Sorry, more humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige. And one should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant Hare Krishna constantly, but in such a state of mind, we can attract the mercy of the Lord. So our whole thing is a mood of humility. We don't have, as soon as pride comes in our heart, then three things happen. You cannot learn anything, right? Because pride comes, you block yourself. No knowledge when you go inside. You cannot learn anything. You cannot love anyone. Because as soon as pride comes, you're thinking of yourself. You're not thinking about you're gonna love. And third thing, you will not last. You cannot learn, you cannot love, you will not last. You will not last in a sense, like if you're pride, then you make offenses. And you make offenses in bhakti, then Krishna is, aparad, right? Radha. You're going against Radha, then no more entrance. So developing that mood of humility attracts the mercy of the Lord. Okay, so stop here. Continue next time with the story, and then we'll come to how these four Kumaras who were at the confidential level, they came to most confidential level. Right? So that we'll discuss next time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Maybe someone can already call the children and send the word that they can come down. Yes, Prabhu, in the meantime.
During that time, because there were a lot of demons who come in different shapes and form, and then they would, try to overtake Vaikuntha and Swarga and everything else.
They were trying to overtake, they have the ability to overtake Swarga, but not Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha, that's the Lord, that is spiritual. So demons as such, they don't have access to that. Mystic yogis, they can go there. Like we have the story of Ambarish and Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni wasn't a devotee, but he could travel to Vaikuntha. But those personalities, if you don't have bhakti, you can go there, but you cannot stay there. You'll have to come back. So Durvasa Muni could go there, but he had to come back. So, but demons cannot, they can capture heavenly planets. They cannot capture beyond that.
Then my question is,
Yeah.
my question was then it was the duty of them to
Yes,
ensure
stop.
the
Yeah.
safety and all that.
Yeah. So it wasn't, so that's why the Kumaras say that is a question of any enemies coming to this point or envious personalities coming to this point. Why are you stopping us? That means you are not doing your job properly. You said like you're making differences right now. So
Then why do you have 7 gates and having the person standing at the gate? Because if nobody, without any other
Yeah.
beings can come in, then it's open.
I mean it is yeah. So enemies will not come in, but still the Lord has some pastimes where it may say like there's actually a story when Lord was resting and Lakshmi ji wanted to come in. Then Jay and Vijay said, no, Lord is resting, don't disturb. So they are there so that the Lord's maybe some pastime is going on. And they say, okay, not now, just wait for a few minutes. After the Leela is over, then you can come. So they are just there to just make sure the right things are happening at the right time. Who is allowed in a particular pastime. Okay.
Then say in Vaikuntha or any other spiritual planet, the devotees are serving Krishna and they are so immersed in the service attitude and bhakti. What gives a jiva that thought that I want to enjoy? Why does that happen? Like how can I possibly can?
That's a big question. Question that is all often like a question of debate. Is it really possible for a jiva to fall down? But Prabhupada always answered this with that point that we have our independence. Krishna does not take out the free will of a jiva. After this entire thing about confidential, more confidential, most confidential, what does Krishna tell Arjun? He gave him the entire knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. But what does he say? Yate chashi tathakur. I have given you knowledge. Now, how you want to act, you can act. Some people say my favorite shloka in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is saying, how I can act, I can act. But Prabhupada makes a point. Why is Krishna saying that? Because Krishna never takes out the free will of a jiva. Because only through the free will can the jiva actually express his love to Krishna. So because the free will is there for the jiva to express the love, that free will also has the other side to it, where a jiva can actually say that, oh, why here? But it's very few. Most of them are always there. Only very few unfortunate people like us, we say like, we turn away from Krishna. So why? Like the point actually we say is like, the question should not be why, but the question should be how can I go back? Yeah, but that Krishna guarantees. He gave in Bhagavad Gita, right? He says, Takta deham punarjanma naiti mamiti savi. Once you go back, you'll not make the same mistake again. And Krishna says that you will not make the same mistake again. So don't do it. Huh? So, ABC or what? In the spirit? Oh, yeah.
There was a nice video where the mother is telling his son. The son comes and says, "Oh, I failed 10th standard. I'm going to commit suicide." So the mother tells him, "You will take birth again and you'll have to go to 3 ABC again. So don't do suicide. Finish it."
You'll come back and you'll be admitted in the same school and you'll have the same teacher and you'll come back to the same.
Cycle again, safety.
Like in one class, someone asked this question and the speaker said, if you have an arrow in your back, what is the first thing you want to do? Take out the arrow or go and find out like who shot the arrow? First thing you want to take out the arrow. We are here in this material world. Find a way to get out. And at the right time, things will be revealed to us. So there are some questions we can understand it theoretically, but at the right time when we advance, Krishna will reveal everything to us. So some questions we accept the theoretical answer, and at the right time, we just wait. Okay?
The four are the Brahmins, which means they are free of lust and anger. So why did they get angry?
Yeah, why did they get angry? So actually in this purpose, Prabhupada makes a point that anger is not like material anger. Their anger, like even devotees get angry. Hanumanji got angry. No, he's a pure devotee. Why he got angry? Because that anger is for the service of the Lord. So the four Kumaras, they got angry because they were stopped to take darshan of the Lord.
But at Brahmins, they don't know about they have not yet gone to the Bhagwan stage. So they've not yet gone on the devotional path. Then there's no connection.
No. I mean, see, there people at Brahman realized stage, they may know that yes, Bhagwan is there, but we are still not there. A person may know that I know sunshine, and there is something beyond it I know, but I don't know what it is. So a Brahman may know that Bhagwan is the source, but I don't have access to it. I'm not realized that yet. Like even I could say, I know sunshine comes from the sun, but I don't have contact with Vivaswan. So, but I know Vivaswan is there. So similarly, like a Brahman may know that yes, there's a supreme person, but I don't have access to it because I am not engaged through bhakti. So Ambarish,
had access to Vaikuntha, they could not stay there. They would
Durvasa Muni, yes, he couldn't see it. Yes.
But then they had access.
Yeah.
Now, Durvasa Rishi, we know
Anger, yeah.
anger, and that's not the spiritual end.
Yeah, yeah.
In terms of any small thing,
Yes.
make it end.
Yes. So Durvasa Muni, he was not Brahman realized, but he has the mystic siddhi. So there are two different things. One is the mystic siddhi someone can have. By the siddhi, you can travel anywhere. That doesn't mean you are Brahman realized. You just have the siddhi to do it. So Durvasa Muni was not Brahman realized. That's why he used to get angry at small things. But he had that siddhi. Anyone can have that siddhi. Like imagine, I'm talking about this, magicians having the siddhi. Like when they have the siddhi, it's not like anything spiritual. It's just like some leftover siddhi that's there. So someone can have the siddhi, but still not be like spiritually elevated. So there are two different things. You could be mystic yogi perfected, still not be a Brahman realized person. Okay, stop. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. I hope this session was useful to know about the spiritual world, four Kumaras, and so nice. Okay, devotees, thank you.